know, because I could love going to anything else. Well, that was the like the cruise, and that would cost $1,000. So the kids' price was like 4,800, and then the adult price was like 5,600. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah. Well, and I just was like, no, it's got to be the little. Hi.
Good evening.
Oh, Jan. How are you? Good. How are you?
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. Have some information. She basically said to just sign you up, but I said, well, maybe she might want to. She might want to think about it. You never know. Try to get my mom.
How you doing? Good, yourself?
Oh,
Can't complain.
she
Can't complain,
texted
you know?
me and said, did you text me about this? Or she called me and she said, did you text me about this Greece and Athens trip? And I'm like, she didn't text you. When was the text from? She's like, I don't know. By this evening. And I'm like, she doesn't know how to do it. Like, she doesn't know how to see stuff like that. Really? Yeah, I don't know. I just said, well, I thought she was in school. Oh, maybe she's my emergency contact. Maybe that's why she got it. So we could figure that out. Well, just me. Okay. I'll tell her. I'll be like, answer Jan for me.
Yes.
Okay. I don't really like
We don't bite. You guys can move down. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not.
I keep asking him, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I left early, so
Yeah. She's great. I'm not on supposed to go about myself, though. Yeah, right? Or do we still have kids? Hello. Oh, they have kids who have a trade. Okay. So, 340
I'm just gonna go right here.
Hi there.
Grandma said, you blocked me. I'll put my date. Can I say my name? Sit down. Sit down. Do you know what it's called? Ice? Yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Without Greek mythology, Greek god. Athena. Yes. Yes. But I'll make it clear. And you can phone for that. I can't recall. I do.
still thinking they're sophomores. Now,
Senior? It's not cancer. I'll be next year. Hi, Straylo. Straylo, hi. That's my advisor. I don't know.
So what does he have going on?
She's taking a pause for the system. Because we're on the start. If I can't do it, then I'll do it.
Are you guys traveling?
I only have 2 days of vacation left. I'm not sure when it comes.
Yeah, I took on the Tuesday.
think so.
Tuesday and Wednesday off.
Okay.
So, our days are off.
Yeah.
And then we'll see the week Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah. We went to
Grab a seat, Robert. Or not. She's like,
But then I can be
I bet.
You still have trips, whatever you're doing next year.
no, because we did the hospital
What were we talking about? The tours. Wanted to type that in. You want me to call?
Kids have always wanted to roam around.
Okay. Oh. Okay, scan. How do you scan it from there? You can't scan. We don't know. Oh, I thought you scanned off. You are a kid. You should know how to do that. So I gave it to him. Yeah, well, normally I was like, just find your camera and take a picture. But only iPhones can scan stuff like that. No, like the music room. That's a good experience. Find the camera. I found the camera. Okay.
You have to like, you have to see.
Okay, there you go. Now click it. Now you just, it'll just ask you to put it in previous. Okay, should put his name in there? Yeah, you can scroll down. Scroll down. That's okay, you can leave it signed here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Put it in here.
Oh, and I've never done that before. It's just nice. Yeah, I think it's the little glass cover. Hopefully it's not running the screen.
all right, good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Birch. This lady sitting down here who doesn't want to talk is Miss G. That's okay. Before we start, if you haven't yet, if you can get your phone out really quick and scan the QR code, it just gets us a count of who signed in, who actually came today. That would be really awesome. If you need to move down really quick, it's fine. I don't bite. I'm not too scary, I don't think. So I'll give you a minute or so to kind of get that all set.
So this one here and here.
That's a little different. Otherwise, you can go to the tiny URL thing if you don't, if your camera's not working, wherever you just go to the bottom thing and that'll get
You want
you
another
there
sheet
as well.
here?
No, this
That's a
one-
different
this
one.
one's different,
Oh.
sorry. You want us to
Where?
What if we don't have time? Can you type it one time? I'll drop it.
Yeah, if you can, if the camera's not working, you can type in the tinyurl.com and then yarn WXAW. And then that should get you to the sign in page. Is it just a Google form?
Yeah.
Everyone pretty good for the most part? Okay. Gosh, this started probably, I think it was a couple years ago, I think, right around COVID. Miss G and I were talking about possibly doing a trip. We had one of our previous social studies teacher here, Mr. Hintz, who's now at Port Edwards. He and I were going to actually co-lead a trip. I wasn't able to, so I'm kind of familiar with this aspect of it. But he ended up going, they went to Washington, D.C., they went like Eastern Seaboard kind of thing back in, I think it was 2019, I think it was, maybe 2018. And they had a great time. They went through EF, educational tours, and they had zero issues. Everything worked really well. And granted, that was pre-COVID, but for the most part, everything went off without a hitch. The kids had a great time. He had a good time going through and checking it out and doing that. And so we've kind of just been kicking the idea around for the last few years, and with COVID, that kind of derailed that. And then just kind of looking at everything lately and just kind of want to get like out again and actually being able to go somewhere. And so instead of like sticking to the U.S., which is still awesome, Ms. G travels regularly around the U.S., visits national parks and things like that. So she's done a lot of stuff, and you know, I've gone to quite a few different states as well. And so we're like, where can we go that's going to be, you know, awesome? Someplace that we've never been and that other people haven't really hopefully gone to. And so we kind of started looking at Europe. We're both history teachers, or well, special ed, but former history teacher. So we were like, that would be so cool to do some. We were getting really history nerdy with it, like battlefields and all this different stuff in World War II and World War I. And then we were like, okay, not everyone is going to be like that. My wife doesn't necessarily like history and wouldn't think a battlefield from World War II in Normandy would be that great. You know, she'd be like, look, a beach. Great, can we get out of here now? So, yeah, thanks. But in kind of talking around and different things like that, Ms. G found that a lot of people were like, hey, what about Italy? What about like Rome and different things like that? And so we looked at some different things and ended up coming upon this tour for Italy and Greece. So really going to Athens. It's an 8-day trip. So something that's not gonna, you know, you don't have to take, 3 weeks of vacation time for those of you that don't have, teaching jobs. And it's just more of a shorter trip, but we can still get the full experience of doing that. And it seemed like one of our other things too that we really wanted to do was invite the community members. So this, as much as it is a student trip, for students, it's also for everyone else too, because we don't have a school without a community. The students don't have a place to go without the people involved sending your kids here. And so we want you to be just as much of a part of it as they are. So we were looking up different things. We ended up coming upon Italy and Greece. And in talking with the different, we actually had 2 consultants, I guess they would be with EF. And they've been really great in showing us some different options and different things like that. And so this is what we ended up hitting on. We think it's actually a really great trip. And for those of you that have never been to Europe, to you really want to go to Italy and Rome and things like that, like this is gonna be some good stuff. So what we're doing today, pretty straightforward, right? We're just we're gonna talk about what our agenda is, what our itinerary is, what's included on the trip, like what does your money actually go toward. It's not just, we're not getting a cut of it or anything like that, and then, going Airbnbs the whole way, right? Like, they've got everything planned out. Talk a little bit about EF, what they do. Safety and support, we are doing international travel, so we want you to feel safe. EF wants you guys to feel safe, and so do we. And we want to be safe as well. And then, obviously, of course, they always put the price last because you have to sit through the whole spiel. You guys have all done that before. So, but it's pretty reasonable from what we've seen. And obviously, we'll go through how to enroll and all that good stuff. So I've already done the introduction. That's a really long first name, but yeah, Debbie building up and Jason Birch. That's my name apparently, both of them. No, I'm just kidding. So one of the things that brought us to kind of getting to go is that traveling brings so much stuff. Like when my wife and I in particularly, we've traveled quite a bit in the last couple of years. Partially because our oldest is a senior and my wife is feeling very much like he's almost gone, he's gonna leave, we have to get all this time in with him that we can. And I'm like, he's gonna be fine, like he's a senior, he's okay. But the trips that we've taken have been amazing, and we've gotten out and just had some really good time. Like we've done Alaska, we went to Yellowstone this summer with some of our friends, and we've had such a good time. It's been just a really amazing way to just go out and bond and just do all the stuff that you can do when you see the cool stuff. Like we have a buffalo that walks 2 feet from your vehicle. That's insane, that's intense. And so I don't think there's any buffalo in Rome, but it'll still be cool to see what everything has to offer there. Do you want to say why you try? I can't really speak for you.
So I don't like public speaking, that's why Dr. Birch is doing most of the talking, but so I love to travel. It's something that I've done since I was freshman in high school. I've taken trips with other companies like EF. And part of the reason that we really want to do this is we want to give the kids at the school a lot more opportunity to get out and see things. So a lot of kids, I know some people here went to New York with Mr. Seipel, had a great time. I think every kid at least should get the opportunity to go international. My first time traveling internationally in college, I did a semester abroad in London. It was life-changing for me personally. And it just gave me the travel bug, so I just want to go everywhere now. But I'm really passionate about seeing kids get to do things that they dream about and that they always want to do. And so the opportunity for us to get to take kids overseas into a country and experience something new like that, especially at this age, I just think is awesome.
So, and it's really cool to be able to teach kids about stuff like the Coliseum and be like, hey, remember when we saw it? They'll have that memory forever, really. And so yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we travel. I'm assuming you guys are all here because you like traveling. I don't think too many people are like, all right, first trip, I'm going to Europe. That's a really weird thing. Usually you kind of want to start small, but like Ms. G said, there's students that haven't been out of the state of Wisconsin, and not that that's a bad thing, but we want to give them the opportunity to have the ability to go out and go to see other places and do it in a nice, safe, controlled environment and where everything's kind of taken care of. And it's a nice way to just dip your toes into travel, and makes it a little bit easier. So EF, they've been doing this for a really, really long time. They're gonna, make us talk about EF a lot because they're the ones running it, which is okay. So you can see here, I'm not gonna read everything off here. 55 years of experience. They have staff everywhere. They work 365 days a year. They're all over the place. If we have issues anywhere, we can call them every time we email. They're had phone calls. They're quick to respond. They get back to you right away. They send you emails even when you don't want them to. They're really good at what they do. And so it's nice the fact that we can rely on them to do a lot of the dirty work for us. They can get a lot of the legwork going, plan all the tours, get everything, get the tour guides, get the buses all set up. It's not anything we have to do. We just have to go and enjoy the trip. Go ahead.
And one thing about EF versus other travel organizations like this, every country that they offer a trip to, they personally have an office in. So there's someone physically in that country, usually multiple locations. So if there's an emergency, something happens and we need to get a student back home, things like that, they're physically there where they can actually come to help us with whatever we need depending on what type of emergency it might be, versus other companies that we researched don't always offer that. So that's just another reason we went with them, is we just felt like that was one of the more safe options.
And then having having worked with them in the past too, just in the last 5 years, and that trip went really well, and so why not stick with them? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So So here's our itinerary. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time. But the first night we fly out. We'll probably fly out of Chicago. It's probably going to be the cheapest for us to do. What we'll have to do is more than likely, and we're hoping that we've got 30 spots that we can fill all 30 of them, and we can all take a coach bus down. Be super excited about the trip. We'll fly out of O'Hare. And then however long that flight is, I don't know, we don't have to set that up. That's the great thing. They do it and they're like, here's your flight. So hopefully it's a decent flight, not some red-eye thing at like 2 in the morning or whatever, but now that I say that, they'll be like, oh, here's your flight, it's 2 in the morning. I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Hang on. That's too late, is this good? Okay. So the first day, so days 1 and 2, you fly overnight to Italy, we meet our tour director, and they kind of just get us set up and do all that stuff, right? Day 3, right? So that's days 1 and 2. Day 3, kind of a whirlwind day, right? We go through Rome, guided tour. We check out the Colosseum, like the places where they had, the gladiators fighting and all that stuff, all the history that's connected there. The Roman Forum, Vatican City, Catholics. Woohoo! There we go. We get to see where the Pope lives. That's pretty sweet. Check out the Trevi Fountain. It's supposed to be cool. I don't know. You throw coins in there, and you're supposed to get married or something. There's something like that, I believe. I don't know. I'm married. I didn't have to do that. So I threw my life in a lake, and so that's how I met her. So that worked way better. So that's day 1. So it's kind of a big thing, right? We're kind of breezing through and going through. So it's a lot of stuff, but it'll be cool, and I think if we know that going into it, it's not like, hey, we're gonna have 4 hours in each spot. We'll probably have a couple hours in each. I'm guessing. If we take 2 hours in each one, that's 8 hours plus the driving and everything else. So that's a big day. If you look though, day 4, see Rome with your group, enjoy the cuisine. That's day 4. And we're going to, that's right. Then we're going to Pompeii. So Mount Vesuvius, we get to see all that stuff. Hopefully it doesn't erupt anymore. We're good there, but we should be okay. But we got, who doesn't want to eat food in Italy? Like, for real, that's honestly 75% of the reason why I'm going to. Can't wait. So we do that. We're going to Pompeii. We'll do that stuff again. All of us, everything's taken care of. And check out everything else. After that, we fly to Athens, all right? So we get to go to Greece. What you can see up there, it's kind of hard to see if you can. I can't zoom in anymore, but it's the Acropolis. That's one of the things that we are going to see. I believe that's the Acropolis, or the Parthenon. No, it's Acropolis. We'll visit the Acropolis on day 6. So we fly out day 5. If you guys know geography at all, Italy and Greece are not very far apart, so it's probably going to be just a couple-hour trip. I don't know, obviously we don't have times or anything like that, but I'm hoping, maybe more in the evening we'll get there, just kind of relax, enjoy a little bit of the area. We check the Acropolis the next day, take a guided tour, check out the Olympic Stadium. Athens, how long ago was that? Was that just recent? That's been a while. Olympics, anybody remember when Athens was?
86.
86?
I remember that, huh? Yeah.
All right. We get to take a Greek dancing lesson. That was cool. Anybody like dancing?
Why not?
Oh, whipping plates down?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know, but that sounds awesome. So day 7, do you have another? Oh, and then on day 7, we have an excursion to Delphi. So if you know Greek mythology, the oracles of Delphi and things like that, it's one of the, I think, temples, I can't remember which deity, I want to say Artemis, or Athena, one of the two, I think, or Apollo, I don't know, it's one of the 8 names. But we checked that out, it is Artemis. Somebody, okay, awesome, that was the very first time. Euros guys in Greece, like, again, 75% of why I'm going is to eat food. We kind of chill, we do that, and then we fly home on day 8, and then we're back, So it's a fast trip, it'll go fast, I'm sure, when we're there. But it's going to be packed full of so much stuff, and we're going to get to see so much stuff, that hopefully, whenever we take our next trip, you guys are like, hey, where do we want to go now? What else do you want to see that we haven't seen yet? And so that's it.
Mr. Birch gets to pick the next trip, so it will be the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah, we're going to Normandy, everyone, so.
My mom will join you for that one.
All right, all right.
That was gonna take everyone's mom.
Yeah. So the Parthenon in the Acropolis, we'll get to walk around there. We've got, so these are some of the scenes, some of the things that we're going to actually be able to do in person. Getting to see the columns, the pillars, everything else that they have, all this architecture that we've only dreamed about seeing because, they just don't make them like they used to, So we get to see all this cool stuff, the throwing the coin in the Trevi Fountain. Just even, honestly, just look at that, holy cow. The fact that we can see that in person. And again, the food, I know, I'll shut up now. But look at that, look at you guys, that's crazy.
Make sure to clear your phone of all storage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, back up your iCloud, get the 100 milligram, the 100 megabyte storage that you can get. And everything there, pizza, pasta, croissants, fries apparently.
Okay, so the tour is 8 days. August apparently, number one, is a great time to visit the Mediterranean. That's what we've been told. If we get 30 people signed up, then we're guaranteed a private tour, which means then we get to for sure lock in our preferred dates. If we don't quite get 30 people, what happens is they just might combine us with another group. So then they give us a window for right now, because if they have to do that, they got to kind of make it work for both groups. So our hope is that we're going to be able to just have our own private tour. But as of right now, it should take place roughly between August 2nd and August 9th, and they will let us know as soon as possible on the firm dates. Okay, as soon as we kind of see where our
They said about 2 to 3 months out. So
Yeah.
we're hoping 3, obviously, and maybe
or if it fills up sooner.
yeah, if it fills up, then we can get that. But they said as far as right now, until we get the 30, to make sure that these dates are, because it could happen anytime in between those, July 29th to August. That's the earliest we would leave. The latest we would get back would be August 13th. So if we want to hit it when we want to hit it, we got to get the 30 people. But otherwise, yeah, it's. And I think the other group that went to the Eastern Seaboard, I think they were combined, and they still had a good, time. It's people that are still wanting to do this stuff. So yeah, if you know you're going, and we're not sure, and hopefully we can have some numbers by the end of tonight, But if we're 10 people off, hey, all we got to do is get 10 more people, and then the sooner we get that, the easier it's going to be for us to nail down the final dates and everything else. And so if we do end up going with another group like students, you guys might meet people from could be anywhere, and so you guys will meet some new people, which would be kind of a cool thing. You can create your own Snapchat group, like, hey, do you have tour, Rome, Italy, whatever. But it'd be cool. It'd be a great way to meet people, make some new connections, and yeah, you never know. Could develop a lifelong friendship. Who knows? Does everyone have those dates written down? I don't want to move on before we have them written down. So if you want to take a picture really quick, just write that down. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds or so. And so part of the reason that we requested the August 2nd and 9th is it's a really good time to go to the Mediterranean. It's not like insanely busy there during that time period. We're getting close to the end of summer and things like that. But also thinking about the kids in school and sporting events and different things like that. We know practices start right around the 1st if you're in football, or pretty much most of the other sports start right around August 15th. So we'd be back before a majority of those, for the students, if they're in those sporting events, would be able to get back and still make their first practices and things like that. So it'd be, they wouldn't have to worry about that and be like, oh no, I'm going to miss a whole week, I'm going to be behind or whatever.
It was also because it was cheaper. It was probably like $400 or $500 per person cheaper to go in August than it was in July and June. So that was another.
And that was early August too. So what's all included? I said EF does everything for the most part for us, right? They get the round trip airfare on the major airline carriers. The hotels are good hotels. I don't think it's not like, you know, hole in the wall hotels or anything like that.
Or hostels.
Or hostels. Yes, our coordinator was telling us about how like when she went traveling, it was all hostels and they were staying in like 60 people and all sharing like a bathroom and different things like that. Which, hey, great experience if you're 22, but now when you're 40 and you need a CPAP and you have back problems. Like, I need a bed, I need a place to sleep. Okay. So you have the regional style meals for breakfast and dinner. Lunch is kind of on our own. Like that's where we would have to bring money for our lunches and different things like that. But hey, what better way to try the food than to go to a local establishment and try it, you know, and just everything. We're already talking about it. Like, okay, so you're going to get something different. That way we can all eat off each other's plates, and it'll be a great time. We have a tour director who's going to be with us. I don't know if they're actually physically with us in person. I think they are. They're with us our whole trip. So they'll be there. Any questions we have, they'll be able to help us out, and it'll be really good. The bus, motor coach bus, I'm assuming it's not a Safeway bus. You know, not that Safeway buses are bad, but when you're traveling around in the country, you want to be comfortable. Local guides that'll give us the cultural insight. All the, you know, hey, if you want good pasta, go to this place over here. You know, avoid this place. That's a tourist trap. Don't go there. You know, we want to know where the good places to eat are, the good places to see sunsets, or whatever it is that we're looking for. Those people will be there for us. Guided sightseeing. So all the sightseeing is going to be guided. You know, it was, you know, when we went to, I'm trying to think of the different places that we've gone where we've actually been on a tour. We went to Denali in Alaska. Like, you have to go there on a sightseeing bus, but that was the best thing. If we had drove around, we would have missed everything. And it, you know, it still would have been cool. We had great scenery. We would have missed the animal, you know, the elks, the moose, the bear, everything. And this is a great way to get you to where you need to go. They can give us, you know, if you like the history, all the stories behind it, I'm sure they know all that stuff, right? And so it'd be really cool. And that also includes all of our entrances to the landmarks, the attractions, everything that we're going to do while we're there. All that stuff's already included in the price. So again, I know there's a lot here. And when you think about just even airfare and all that stuff, just a hotel stay and airfare alone, you know, I don't even know what it would be, but you can probably figure it out, right? I mean, everything's going up lately. It's a lot. But it's cool that everything here is, you don't have to worry about anything other than our lunches, but you know, they'll cover it. We'll figure that out. They'll tell us where to eat, it'll be great. We don't have to worry about it. So this is what we're responsible for. Passports. We're going international. You will need a passport. Okay. You have 2 years, roughly 2 years from today. So if you don't have a passport that's valid or yours is expired, mine's expired, we need to go get a new one. But you got some time, but don't put this off. Okay. Yeah.
They're making renewing or getting a new passport a lot easier than what has been.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
A lot of it's could be
And
online.
they do recommend that your passport is good, what was it, like 6 months? Like, say it expires in like November and we're going in August, they don't recommend that. They say it should be good for at least 6 months post your trip. And that's just for like certain countries, they just recommend that if it's close to expiration, that's like a flag for like fraudulent passports. So if you have to renew yours or you need to get one, that's just something to keep in mind too. They say it should be more than 6 months before it actually expires and you use it.
So if you don't have a passport, that doesn't apply to you. You just gotta go get one, you'll be good. But if you're getting close to the time where yours might expire, then make sure you have that. Any baggage fees that the airline has. So like, let's say we fly with Delta. I think their baggage fees are like $30 for a check bag. Most airlines, you can do the personal item and then your carry-on. And then if you have a bigger one, you would be responsible for paying whatever that airline we fly out of, whatever their check fee is, which could vary from place to place.
Check bag. This boy, she's good for the big check.
Okay. Tips, guides, bus drivers, tour director. That's not included. And if you have a great trip, like, show them. You know, that's how these people do this. They keep coming back, and that way, not only will we have a good trip, but then the next group that comes through. You know, we're coming from Wisconsin. We're coming from Nekoosa. You know, we don't want these people to think, oh, people in Wisconsin are jerks and cheapskates, whatever. I'm not saying tip $100, but like, you know, like have some good stuff. They do a good job. do that. Snacks, again, that's on your own. Some meals, like I said, the lunches and different things like that, that's what you're responsible for. And so when you look at, I think, the overall cost of the stuff that you have to bring outside of, what you're paying for the trip, it's minimal, and not a ton, which is nice. I don't like to think about stuff. My wife plans everything. She does the itineraries. I drive where she tells me to. Okay, I like that. It's easy, and this is easy too. So again, we talked a lot about this. I think there was a video here, but we don't have sound. So yeah. So safety, all right, is again the main reason why we partnered with EF and kind of went with them. Again, like Ms. G said earlier, they've got people in every place that they have a destination to. So we know we're taken care of as far as that goes. Something bad happens, God forbid, whatever, we're there. Their response team, safety incident, all that stuff is really good. Their health standards, everything else is, we're not having, whatever that means to you, health standards. It says rigorous, I'm assuming they know what they're doing. It's going to be clean. We're not going to be on dirty hotels or anything like that. It's going to be good. And we have the tour director there 24/7. So if we have a question, if we're not sure, they can answer it for us. We don't have to kind of wander around and go, I think we do this. What should we do? We just go talk to them and they'll figure it out. And it's less issues that we have to work with. Yes?
What, do you know by chance, like, what are the protocols for COVID?
Yeah, so Rome and Athens, you do not need if I'm incorrect, I think you don't need, as long as you're updated, I don't even know if they have a vaccination
Yeah, they're
thing.
currently not requiring vaccinations or COVID tests to enter the country.
Okay.
So we have asked about that as far as if something were to change, that's part of EF's job is they will let us know. But as of right now, they actually don't have any countries that they are currently having trips in that require any kind of COVID vaccinations or tests.
What about coming back in the US? Because the US does require a test coming back.
As of right now, she told us that about 6 months prior to when we return, she'll be able to update us on it, see where it's at. And I think it also depends on which countries we're coming back from. So I think we'll know. I know we'll know when it gets closer, but as of right now, she can't really tell us that for sure.
Yeah, because there was an opportunity to go to add on a little bit of an excursion here, which we were going to do originally, but then that was one of the places where the boats that we would be on, because they had some islands, like if you look on here, they mentioned it in one of the things, that you can do some islands around Greece and stuff like that. Part of the reason we decided to cut that, A, it was a little bit cheaper for everyone, but B, with the boats and all that stuff, they require COVID testing, and we didn't want, however you feel about it, whatever, we just didn't want to have to deal with that and worry about people like, well, I don't want to go because I don't want a test or I have a test or whatever it was. We just figured it would be a lot easier if we just didn't have to worry about that and deal with it, and this way we've got, from as far as we know, in and out pretty quick, or fairly simply at least, from, like Ms. G said, from what Caitlin had told us, it was simple, hopefully. I wish I would miss something. It says too, there's this little note here, they're always ready to respond to ensure that a train strike or even a sprained ankle isn't going to slow the trip down. So they'll have some type of remedy, if something happens to the bus or the transportation, I guess I never even thought about that they've got stuff ready to go just in case something like that happens. So we don't have to worry about it.
So another thing we've asked in regards to COVID is, should Italy or Greece or both close their borders before we go, they will help us rebook the trip. I think travel companies after COVID got wise and now are putting in a lot of language about refunds and whatnot due to COVID, so they will work with us, but their policy is to first try to reschedule the trip. So we're going to talk about travel insurance too, that is some of that is included in the cost and more that can be purchased additionally, but as of right now, their official policy is to try to reschedule the trip. Let's just hope that.
Yeah. 2 years out, hopefully it's a memory, you know, that's it. So one of the really cool things, again, that we really liked about EF was the fact that there's a guide, so you can, I'll just read it off. This guide helps students put a more personal lens on their tour by tapping into their own interests and passions. There's some work that students can do and actually get high school credit. Mrs. Sievers, are you aware that, will that high school credit, will that count just toward like an elective?
It will be an elective.
Okay.
Yep.
So a half credit, you can go on the trip, you can do a little work, I don't know, probably write a personal essay about your trip or something like that, maybe a little bit more, and you can get an elective credit for high school. Additionally, there are college credits that you can get as well, I believe. And even, I know as teachers, you can get grad credits for that. And it's the college, did she give us?
South New Hampshire.
Oh, through South New Hampshire University. And the credit cost is insane. It's like
$346 for 6 credits or something.
is that for the
Super low.
master's or grad credits? What was it for the college? Okay.
Wait, $346 for 6 credits?
Yeah,
That's
grad
credit?
No, 6.
Yeah. So, and then the college credits for the students were even cheaper than that. And it was like 3 or 4 credits for like, I think, $250 or something like that. It was crazy. So, I mean, for those of you that are going to be graduated by then, you know, you can still use those and get elective credits for your college, assuming they accept it, which I can't imagine they wouldn't if EF wouldn't like suggest that if they couldn't. So that's really cool. And again, there's just, you know, you have to pay, but it's just an additional project work that's related to your tour. So, you know, go on your stuff, probably take some pictures, write some stuff down. It'll be a great time. Again, for those of you that are going to college or that are wanting to go to college, there's a college essay guide that you can use like your tour as your inspiration, you know, like for writing a personal essay or anything like that. I don't know if admissions officers can't resist that, but hey, it can't hurt, you know, so keep that in mind as well. But this is a really great way to get credit and do something that you enjoy doing and have fun doing, and you can get credit for it, for either for free for high school or for really cheap for educators and college students. So it's a win-win, at least for me. I've got a kid going to college and another kid who's going to be in high school, so like that'll be great. Free, I'm down with that. Again, looking at kind of what happens for students that do travel and are able to go on trips like this. It's their travel-based learning philosophy. They have a growth mindset, a global perspective, a personal development, and action and impact. And so basically, you know, there's a lot of different things here. There's 4 things, obviously all wrapped into one. But the things that kids can do, that students can do, that adults can do even, and let's be honest, on these trips, that there's a lot of stuff that they're going to see that we don't get to see here. You know, not just the cool sights and different things like that, but even just learning how to communicate with other people, especially those that maybe have limited English or no English, or figuring out how to do all that stuff, and actually being willing to step out of your comfort zone and actually try to communicate with someone that doesn't speak English, or, you know, hey, I would like to try this, you know.
Just grow their confidence
Yeah.
for the kids. I mean, what a great way to become a more confident person than to think, oh, I was in a foreign country and got to see all these neat things and learn or meet new people, and it's just a great way for them to develop personally.
And the cool thing is, I think of now more than ever, we're so connected socially. You know, all the people that you meet in foreign countries or anything like that, a lot of them have, well, here, we all have access to the same internet, we all have access to the same Facebook pages or whatever, and you might make some friends, even if you weren't expecting to. You know, and it'd be a cool way to, you know, hey, who knows, maybe that person wants to become a foreign exchange student now, and hey, you can come live with me, like, we got a place for you. I mean, what better way to connect with people around the world than that? I just want to see what they actually say about step off. That's pretty much it. Yeah, and so, you know, there's a lot of stories about kids who travel and they come home. and they want to do something, you know, great, or they have these ideas too. And it's such a great way to get those ideas out there where they can actually see what it's like in the rest of the world. And even the fun stuff. You know, it doesn't have to be anything, you know, life-changing, but like Miss G said, you know, she went to London and now loves to travel, and this might spark some of that, and you know, and they can then share that interest with other people and things like that, and their kids or their friends or whatever. All these new experiences that they might be able to have, all from just coming on a trip, you know. So again, supports. We have our consultant, that's the lady that we're working with. She's getting everything set for us, helping us with, you know, all these cool flyers and things like that. She literally overnighted those to us, and we got them here because we were like, "Are you gonna be able to get?" So we talked to her what day was it? Friday, and we were like, "Are those gonna be here?" And she's like, "No, yeah, we're good." She's like, "I'll talk to my people; it'll be fine." And they're here. We have the tour director bilingual, so we don't have to worry about the different languages and things like that. If any of you have tried to speak Greek before, or you watch the Bucks and you listen to them speaking Greek, it's cool, but I'm not going to learn that in 2 years. That's going to be hard. So they know how to do it. You know, we can. That's a great thing. We're going to go to Greece. Just wear your Giannis Antetokounmpo jersey there. You're going to make some friends right away. Like, it'll be really good. We have the support team. So once you guys sign up, and if you're like, yes, I'm going to go, we're going to do this, they're going to be able to help you with any questions, payments, if you have dietary issues, if I can't eat gluten. I don't know why you're going to Rome if you can't eat gluten, but hey, that's cool anyway. They'll figure it out and they'll plan everything for us. It'll be awesome.
They have really good salads too, Mr.
Yes, salads.
Greek
That's right.
salads.
That's right. And I'm going to eat everything. It's going to be good. Yeah, it's fine. And this is us. We don't have a picture of us, but we're the group leaders. Miss G is technically the group leader. I'm the mouthpiece. And yeah, so we'll be along there as well. And then the other chaperones that do end up coming with, we'll all be there. We'll defer. We'll have, you know, we'll have a nurse on the trip. We'll have teachers on the trip. We'll have. We will. My wife's in this.
Oh yeah, oh that's right.
Is Jane
They're
coming
talking
too?
about Jane.
Is she coming too?
Can I be there?
Oh.
We'll have two nurses.
We'll have two nurses, you guys. This will be awesome. Like, you guys are going to be safe. Not even on the trip, but we'll have the tour directors as well. So it'll be really awesome. And we don't have the, again, the logistics, all the stuff that I dislike about traveling, it's all taken care of. Like, we don't have to worry about any of that. Like, it'll all be there. They'll be like, yes, we're going here and here and here. Except this time, I don't have to drive. I can just sit and just enjoy everything. It'll be awesome. So again, this is some of the things that you can get on here. If something happens, if whatever, if something changes, like Ms. G said, where COVID ramps up, or they fix something, whatever it happens, you can get travel insurance. So everything that's included here is the global travel protection. That's just your overall, that's the stuff that's already there. Baggage, property, trip cancellation, interruption, much more. And like Ms. G said, they'd like to reschedule with, you know, if this one has to get canceled for whatever reason, we have a whole world that we can try to go to, so there's a lot of different places we can go. If you want to, it's a little more expensive, but once you enroll, you can cancel for any reason up to 24 hours within departure. I'm assuming that you get a full refund. It does not say, but that's my guess is that.
That one's the additional, that's something you can choose to purchase yourself, and it's literally for any reason that you would cancel. The one that's included is like, she named a couple things off, like a death in the family, job loss, and they'll give us more information about that specifically, but they just additionally started offering the global travel protection one for an additional cost because obviously people are still concerned about COVID or, you know, what and whatnot, but it is up getting your full refund.
Yeah. So if that is something you do worry about, with the with the trip as that you're spending money on, and especially international, if you just like that peace of mind, it's not super expensive. I mean, when you're looking at the fact that you could get a free, you'll get a full refund if for whatever reason you have to cancel. I mean, we're 2 years out, so a lot can happen in 2 years. If you're worried about that, that's a great way to just one less thing you have to worry about. Oh no, what if I can't do this? Hey, guess what? Hey, I gotta cancel. Sweet, here's your money back. Obviously you won't get the $300 back, but hey, that's how insurance works. If you enroll now, like tonight, whatever, or the next,
Before October.
before October 1st, so 11 days here, I think. You can cancel 14 days after you sign up, risk-free, and you'll get your deposit back. Yes, and anything that you've already paid, you'll get that back. So like, you know, in some cases, this might be an impulse buy for someone, you know, you're like, here, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Then you go home, you're like, that is not gonna work for me. You know, you have 2 weeks, you can get everything that you've paid in, no questions asked. And, you know, it's, again, it's a nice thing to have, you know, especially if you're not sure or whatever, but it's good, it's 100% full refund. And again, during that time, once you're enrolled, you can ask all the questions you want to ask, you can get all that stuff, and they will help you out and hopefully answer any questions you have, or maybe alleviate, you know, any worries that might be there. So, another cool thing, scholarships for students. EF does award $100,000 in scholarships every year, needs-based and merit-based. So for those of you that are seniors or going to be seniors or whatever, any enrolled traveler may apply. So if there are seniors here, you can apply for these scholarships once you enroll. That's it. You know, you don't have to have already gone on a trip. It says enrolled students. So it's a great way to do that. Actually it says enrolled travelers. So I don't even know, oh no, it's students, never mind. Every person is going to get their own fundraising page. Like if that's one of your things, great. You send the page out, people can throw in, you know, money to you. They're like, hey, I really want you to see the world. Here's, you know, $1,000, sweetie. You know, grandma's really nice this year. You're good. All that will go directly to your account balance, your tour balance, and you don't have to worry about it. And yeah, and you get your own page. You just probably just send it right out. Hey, help me go to, you know, Rome, Italy. And you're good to go. And if you don't use it, that's fine. You don't need to use it. You know, some of you, a lot of adults here, you guys don't need a fundraising page probably. So, but if you want to, you can. You never know. So again, all the stuff here, we're getting to that price point now, so they're trying to, you know, we're reminding you of what we all get, which is cool. All the stuff we talked about, the payment options, actually we didn't talk about that. We will, again, that's the next slide. You get the fundraising page, the global travel protection plan, plus the additional one that you can purchase. Account is online, you can do that right there. The support team, the safety incident response team, the peace of mind program, college essays, the credits for high school, college teachers, project-based learning guide, probably for the kids who are looking to get that. And when we kind of looked at everything, and it was, you know, the first time we were looking at the different trips, we were like, wow, that's kind of, you know, seeing all the different stuff when we're out there for 2 weeks. But honestly, when we got to this one and we saw the endpoint, we were like, this actually, I think we can do this. And so, well, now they talk about payment options, okay. This is the student one, correct? I think. Okay, so the top price, this is the student price, I believe.
The far right one says for adults.
What was that?
Like on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
I just hate this slide because I had to ask for it. I'm like, this is very confusing.
So in full for a student to go, $4,129.
After October 1st.
No, with a discount, it's $3,000.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
before
sorry.
October 1st.
After October 1st, that's what the cost would be. If you enroll before October 1st, you actually save $200. So it ends up being $39.29 with that discount. So for an adult, same thing, $46.50 for adults. They have an extra number in there. I think that's only supposed to be $44.49. It's not $44,049. Don't worry about that. Unless one person is going to pay for everyone. In that case, mazel tov. All right. But you can pay bi-weekly with the discount. If you are paying in full, it's $92 every 2 weeks. With the discount, it's $87.50, and that includes the $95 sign-up deposit. Or if you pay monthly, it's $184 or $175 with that discount. I don't know.
So they will let you set up your own, like, we don't take any money, we don't do anything with that. EF works, once you sign up, they work with you on that through their website, and they'll let you, I mean, they'll let you do bi-weekly, monthly, pay in full, they'll let you pay in installments. She said that sometimes people pay the deposit and then pay the whole thing like 3 months before the trip, I guess. Some people can do that. But they're really flexible and they'll work with you. And if you have to change your payment schedule, they'll work with you on that too. That's one of the reasons we picked them as well, because most other travel companies will make you pay like, oh, it's half now, half at this time, or we wanted it to be the absolute most flexible for families.
The reason why it's a little bit more expensive for the adults is rooming purposes and just different things like that. One of the cool things, however, for students is that if you have a senior who is graduating this year or this coming year, so in 2023, if they are 19 when the trip leaves, they still get the student price. So even if they're finished their freshman year in high school or in college, as long as they are still 19, they can travel at the student rate. If they turn 20 the day before, sorry, it's the adult rate. But for those of you that do have older students, if you're over 20 at the time, or 20 or older at the time of travel, it is the adult rate. But if you're not, you still get the student rate, which saves, $400
500.
$80 or so.
Apparently, 40,000.
Yeah, or 40,000. Yeah, it saves a lot of money.
And the student pricing as well, the students, like when they negotiate the cost for like entry fees into places, stuff like that, students get a much better rate than adults do, and that's another reason for the difference in the student price.
September 30th. So again, the discount is signing up on or before September 30th. October 1st is that like cutoff date, which is another reason why we were trying to get this out as soon as we could. So that way you have a little bit of time to think about it and still sign up, with that discount. You get that discounted rate. Which for those of you that do math, that's like a 5% cut. That's not too bad. So especially with inflation going like it is, like, hey, let's save money anywhere we can. They do have manual pay options available. You pay larger, less frequent installments for a small fee. Did they ever say what that was? So again, that's probably for the people that do I'm just going to pay everything, whatever, 4 months before we go, because that's probably a hassle for them. They're like, we don't have our money, and so they probably just have to pay a little bit in order to do that. So we do have 30 spots guaranteed. We'd love for you to sign up today, right? Like that's the goal. We do this. You guys come here, you sign up, and awesome. We get it that you're adults, you have families, you have to go home and talk about it with your spouses. You have to check the bank accounts. Hey, will I actually be able to do this in 2 years? All that stuff. And so we get that. Just so you are aware, that discount, September 30th, that's the cutoff date. So if you are needing to go home and like, I got to do the math, that's the date you want to sign up by. If you want to sign up after that, that's cool. It'll be like full price. And then when you sign up, so if you know you're going to sign up, but you're maybe not quite sure, like I said, if you do sign up and you have that 14-day enrollment period, but even if you sign up September 30th, you still have 14 days from that date to get that free refund if you're looking at the numbers and going, I don't think it's going to work. We hope it works. We'd love for it to work. We'd love to see everyone here on the trip with us, because that would be super fun, and we get our date sooner and everything else. But I'm not going to sit here and pressure you guys. I have a family, you guys all have families. If you want to go, great, and if you will see you there, and if you don't, that's okay too. We really appreciate, I think that's, there's more, I think. So this is if you want to enroll right here. So
That's just this one
oh, it's this one? Okay.
on this piece of paper.
So that you have on your piece of paper here. So if you do want to enroll tonight, you can go ahead and do that. But we thank you guys for coming out, letting us talk for a little bit, almost an hour here, about what our plan is, and we're really excited to see that, there's a lot of community members here, and so, again, it's for students, but we're really excited to see you guys, with us, and, partnering with us, because I think that makes the trips a lot better, especially when we can learn from different people, and just have that experience to get to know some new people, and
And just to clarify on students going, if this, for students to go without their own chaperone, they need to be 15 and up at the time of the trip. Students younger than 15 are absolutely welcome if they have a parent or somebody that's also going as a chaperone. Okay, just to clarify that, because I know we didn't talk.
So he could go, that'd be cool, but you guys would have to come.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you can't just sign it.
here you go.
You know, I
Who wants to ride an airplane? Yay!
And I just want to say too, this is the first time that we're doing anything like this, and this has been like, we've been talking about this for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, and then COVID happened. I was one of the chaperones that was supposed to take a group to Spain in 2020, and we were devastated when we had to cancel the trip because of COVID. And so we've put it off long enough. We just decided if we're gonna do it, let's just give it a try. And so like right now, if you have questions, I will answer any questions we can. And if we don't have the answer, Caitlin is our tour advisor person. I can get on the phone with her tomorrow and get an answer. And after tonight too, we'll be sending out to the email address that you submitted more information as well. Does anyone have any questions or?
You said we have 30 guaranteed spots, but we can have more than that.
Yeah,
It's tricky.
it is tricky. Yeah, I'll let you explain.
So yes, we have 30 guaranteed spots. It depends. The bus can hold up to 35, but that has to include like our tour director, the bus driver. If we end up with, say we end up with like 60 people who want to go, there's talking like they can get us another bus, but she just didn't make it seem like that was going to be a super easy thing. And honestly, I mean, I don't think I'll be honest, I didn't even expect so many people to come here tonight, so we were just praying, can we get 8 or 9 people to go and then combine with another school? So we're really hoping we get 30, but so it is possible, but we would have to get probably at least another 20 to 30 people after that.
And the other thing is that too, like if we go on this and it goes great, like we are more than willing to, let's do another trip in like 3 years, you know, let's give everyone some time to recover, you know, it is expensive, but like we'll get another one lined up pretty quick. And if you miss the chance this time, all those people are going to hear about how great of a trip it was. You guys should have came. Why didn't you come? You know, and hopefully that next one will be just as packed. And maybe we can even say, you know, we can be like, hey, we had a ton of people come out. We had a ton of people expressing interest. Can we get more than just 30? And yeah, so Normandy, here we come. And you know, 5 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah, 2028. Right? But yeah, but if you have any questions, if you want to, I mean, you can ask the group. That's awesome. Or if you don't want to do that because you know you don't like talking in front of everyone, just come on down and we'll be here for a little bit. So otherwise, thank you so much.
This link, when you scan it, it'll take you to the actual web page for the trip, which has the itinerary, the price, and information on there as well. But you can also email me or Mr. Birch, and we're pretty on the ball with getting back to people. So, but we just appreciate everybody coming and learning about the trip. So.
And remember, if you do have a nice grandma, this is you go show her the itinerary and say, here's what we get to do, grandma, you know, and she might be like, here you go, I'll fund everything for you.
That mystical grandma.
Yeah. Mine are gone, so not my grandma.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stick
Yeah,
around.
no problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coordinating.